Bloodline members betray Roman Reigns for The Rock. Major WWE Raw stars set to appear on an upcoming episode of SmackDown. Ex-WWE star's next move after apologizing to Triple H. Revealed WWE title match scrapped due to serious injury to champion. Rhea Ripley sends a message to WWE superstar months after his arrest. WWE legend issues statement on Booker T's controversy. New WrestleMania match for Cody Rhodes after The Rock's return. Backstage update on a match between The Rock and Roman Reigns. Let's jump right into it. Major WWE Raw star set to appear on upcoming episode of SmackDown. A major WWE Raw star is scheduled to appear on an upcoming episode of SmackDown. Royal Rumble 2024 is just around the corner, and there's a ton of buzz surrounding the premium live event. Randy Orton, LA Knight, and AJ Styles are scheduled to battle in a triple threat match this Friday on SmackDown to determine Roman Reigns' opponent for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship match at the Royal Rumble. World Heavyweight Champion Seth Rollins successfully defended his title against Drew McIntyre on the Day 1 edition of WWE Raw. Rollins is currently not scheduled to defend the title at the Royal Rumble, but did have an epic confrontation with CM Punk on a recent episode of Red Brand. Punk informed Rollins that he would be entering the Royal Rumble on January 27 and suggested that he might come after the Visionary's title at WrestleMania. Seth Rollins took to social media today to promote his upcoming dates. The World Heavyweight Champion will be appearing on the January 26 edition of SmackDown one day before the Royal Rumble later this month. The appearance will most likely be for a dark match. January 2024, he posted, former WWE writer Vince Russo has reacted to the promo between CM Punk and Seth Rollins on the December 11 episode of Raw. Speaking on Sportskeeda Wrestling's Legion of Raw show, Vince Russo noted that Seth Rollins did not use his signature cackle once during the promo. Russo suggested that Punk might have told the World Heavyweight Champion to keep things serious during their promo last month. Did you notice, bro? He did not use that ridiculous laugh one time on this promo, and I wonder if that had anything to do with Punk saying, you know what, bro, really, let's leave the laugh in the back and let's have a serious promo. Seth Rollins has made it known in the past that he is not a fan of Punk and referred to the controversial star as a cancer. It will be fascinating to see if the two stars wind up battling for the World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania 40 in Philadelphia. Would you like to see Punk versus Rollins at WWE WrestleMania 40? Who would you be rooting for in the title match? Ex-WWE star's next move after apologizing to the game leaked. A former WWE superstar's next move has reportedly been revealed after he apologized to Triple H in a recent video on Instagram. This superstar is Velveteen Dream. WWE released Dream after he wasn't seen in action for quite some time, back in May 2021. The young gun was one of the most popular acts on NXT TV during his stint on the brand. Many fans were speculating that he was on his way to becoming a top main roster star. Velveteen Dream recently shared a lengthy video on his official Instagram handle. In the clip, he apologized to Triple H, Shawn Michaels, and the WWE Universe. In a major update on the situation, Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful has reported that Dream is looking to do a bunch of media interviews and is willing to answer any questions. Patrick Clark / Velveteen Dream has been looking to do several media interviews after his apology video with Triple H, Shawn Michaels, and others close to him. It said that he's willing to answer any questions and isn't expecting softball questions. Several in the media have been contacted about doing the interviews. During Velveteen Dream's stint in WWE, he delivered several incredible performances and was doing quite well on the mic. The game had high hopes for Dream and had nothing but praise for him. In late 2020, the WWE's head of creative answered a bunch of questions during a Q and a session before NXT TakeOver 31. He had the following to say about Dream. Coming off of what was a bit of a rough year for Velveteen Dream, he's reorganizing himself, you know. Dream is one of those young guys that still hasn't quite found his way yet of who he wants to be. I think sometimes that weighs on him. His immaturity in his life presents itself in his professional life and makes it difficult for him sometimes. Back in 2020, Velveteen Dream was accused of sending inappropriate photos to minors. WB reportedly launched an investigation and no evidence of wrongdoing on Dream's part was found. Dream is now surely bound to be bombarded with questions about the accusations in case he does end up doing the media interviews. What do you think of this report? Do you think Dream will ever step back into a WWE ring? WWE title match scrapped due to serious injury to champion. WWE superstar Ilja Dragunov was set to face Trick Williams during the New Year's Evil episode of NXT. The NXT Championship bout was confirmed after Williams secured the opportunity by winning the Men's Iron Survivor match earlier this month. However, it appears that the bout won't be happening this week as originally scheduled. During a backstage segment on the show, NXT backstage correspondent Kelly Kincaid revealed that Dragunov had received medical clearance following an injury sustained during his match with Ridge Holland a few weeks ago. Consequently, she announced that the previously advertised championship bout wouldn't be taking place tonight. Breaking. At @EmbassyBar_Czar has not been cleared by WWE medical personnel. The #NXT Championship match with @_Trick Williams will not take place tonight. New Year's Evil, WWE announced on Twitter. In response to the news update, the challenger Williams expressed disappointment but extended well wishes to Dragunov for his swift recovery. However, Williams is still set to compete later in the night after he agreed to put his title opportunity on the line against Grayson Waller. The timeline for the Mad Dragon's return is yet to be determined. What was your reaction to the announcement regarding Ilja Dragunov's potential injury? Rhea Ripley sends a message to WWE superstar months after his arrest. On the back of a successful title defense against Ivy Nile on Raw, Day 1, Rhea Ripley has sent a message to Dominic Mysterio. At this time last year, Mysterio was arrested for misconduct against his family on Christmas Eve. Days later, Dirty Dom addressed his arrest via promo on Monday Night Raw. 2023 was a memorable year for Dominic. He won his first singles championship in WWE, capturing the North American title not once but twice. He eventually lost the title to the reigning champion, Dragon Lee. He also participated in the men's War Games match despite Judgment Day coming out on the losing side. 12 months after he went to prison, Ripley has now sent a one-word message to Mysterio on Twitter/X claiming that he became a star after his arrest. Star, wrote Ripley. Vince Russo recently claimed that Rhea Ripley didn't look dominant in her recent outing against Ivy Nile. Speaking on Sportskeeda Wrestling's Legion of Raw, the veteran claimed that the Eradicator didn't look dominant despite successfully defending the Women's World Championship on Day 1. Russo said, "Oh, I believe anybody could take Rhea out after tonight. I may make a comeback and take Rhea out. After watching tonight, bro, and especially when they're putting over that Ivy is 5'2", the announcers are actually putting that over. And then she goes 50-50 with Rhea Ripley. Anybody can beat Rhea now." Ripley's title reign began in 2023 when she won the SmackDown Women's Championship by dethroning Charlotte Flair. Eventually, she was crowned the inaugural Women's World Champion. She has successfully defended the Women's World Championship against Raquel Rodriguez, Zoe Stark, and other WWE stars before heading into 2024. Are you a fan of the Ripley-Mysterio duo? WWE legend issues statement on Booker T's controversy. Booker T has found himself wrapped up in a new online beef, and now a WWE legend has issued an updated statement on the matter. Booker's issues with Ahmed Johnson have been well documented over the last year. After a back and forth that included a tease for a potential match, the WWE NXT commentator threatened to sue for defamation after the Pearl River powerhouse warned he would tell one of Booker T's secrets, which Booker has dismissed. Johnson just appeared on the Cheap Heat podcast and was asked to give his version of Booker T saying he would sue Johnson if he puts out false information. "I don't even know where it started between me and Booker. When you were in the penitentiary doing your time, I was in the military, brother, fighting for my country. I don't understand how you can call somebody a scum when a scum obviously is one who's been in prison. I don't think you finished high school. Not only did I go to the military, but I graduated most distinguished honor graduate from my class, which is top of the line," he said. Johnson continued, "If it wasn't for Stevie Ray, I could eat you up on this podcast, but out of respect to Stevie, I'm not going to eat you up like I wanted to. I don't know what's your problem. Then you talk about if you see me, you're going to jump on me or whatever you said, fight me or whatever. Oh my God, that would make my day. You can make my day by doing that," he said. Booker T and Ahmed have a history that dates back to WCW as they worked multiple matches together. Johnson was released from WCW in late 2000, which means he and Booker did not get the chance to continue their rivalry in WWE after the sale of WCW. The history between Booker T and Ahmed Johnson began in WCW. Johnson's in-ring debut as Big T came during the January 17, 2000 edition of WCW Nitro in a loss to Booker. Booker and Ahmed then teamed up for a loss to Lex Luger and Sid Vicious on WCW Thunder that week. Things went south between the two, and Big T defeated the Harlem Heat member at WCW Super Brawl 2000 that February. They would go on to work 3 more tag team bouts. Speaking to the Cheap Heat podcast about his ongoing issues with Booker T, the Pearl River powerhouse was asked if he thinks the WWE Hall of Famer is scared of him. "Knowing what I know of him, I don't think he's scared. I think he's more into lawsuits now, wanting to sue people, so if I came up to him and punched him or something, of course that would be a lawsuit because I think he's on strike 3, and strike 3 you get locked up. You get locked up for a long time, so I don't think he can do anything but sue, but I don't know what he's suing me for. How are you going to sue me when you started this beef?" Johnson said. Johnson was also asked if there's anything he can touch on from the alleged Booker T secret that would not get him sued, or if it can't be touched on without being fully divulged. The former WWE Intercontinental Champion said if the truth comes out, it will be a mess for the 2-time WWE Hall of Famer. "You can't touch on this without it being fully divulged. You can't even hint because if the truth comes out, boy, it's a mess. Why do you want to sue me over the truth? I don't know, because you know what I got to say is real, Johnson said. Johnson worked a few indie matches after his WCW release in 2000, but his final bout there came at a non-televised live event on June 23, 2000, as he teamed with Stevie Ray for a triple threat that also included Big Ron and Heavy D, and the winners General Rection and Major Stash. Booker T has wrestled for his Raw indie promotion in recent years, but his last big match was the 2023 Royal Rumble. What do you think of the issues between Booker T and Ahmed Johnson? Do you want to see Booker and Johnson wrestle in 2024? New WrestleMania match for Cody Rhodes after The Rock's return. The landscape in WWE has changed very quickly after The Rock returned to Raw Day 1 this past Monday. The People's Champ made an electrifying return to Raw this past Monday night. In addition to laying the smackdown on Jinder Mahal, the Brahma Bull got on the mic to address the WWE Universe. His closing line was the highlight of the segment, where he hinted that he might face the head of the table, Roman Reigns. On a recent episode of the Busted Open podcast, Bully Ray stated that WWE was in a position to book a stacked WrestleMania 40 card. He claimed that the company had several main eventers like Seth Rollins, CM Punk, Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton, and possibly The Rock as well. He felt that if the company was going for Rock versus Reigns, they could then book Cody and Randy in a personal heated rivalry that didn't need the title. There's so many heavy hitters right now internally, whether that's Punk and Seth, whether that's The Rock returning last night, whether that's Roman, whether that's Cody. Who am I forgetting right now as big main events for 1 and 2? He continued, I'm sorry, I forgot Randy's name, which is very important because we could get Cody and Randy, which is a personal story as opposed to a story about a Universal Championship. During the recent Legion of Raw podcast, former WWE writer Vince Russo mentioned that The Rock versus Roman Reigns was the blockbuster, sellout match, and the Endeavor merger may have pushed the company to move in that direction. I guarantee you, bro, with Endeavor, Rock is the match they want. That is the mainstream match. Cody is a wrestling match, bro. I don't think they're thinking, okay, Roman will go over Rock to give Cody the title. I just don't think they're thinking that way, Russo said. He praised Cody as a good hand, but pointed out that Cody versus Roman would just be a good wrestling match, whereas the Brahma Bull would bring mainstream attention. Do you think WWE will cut short Cody's story for The Rock versus Roman Reigns? Backstage update on match between The Rock and Roman Reigns. The Rock and Roman Reigns were reportedly scheduled to square off on the grandest stage of them all on 2 separate occasions, only for the plans to be canceled later. The Rock's recent return has once again sparked speculation regarding the potential dream match. At last night's Raw, Day 1, The Rock made a surprise return to the Stanford-based company. The 51-year-old interrupted Jinder Mahal during his promo. The Hollywood star took out the former WWE champion before teasing a potential match against the undisputed Universal Champion Roman Reigns. On the most recent edition of Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer stated that the references made by the most electrifying man in sports entertainment during the Monday night show were originally introduced to set up his match against Roman Reigns. He further recalled the canceled WrestleMania plans for the potential bout. That whole thing, the head of the table, and all that, and Tribal Chief, was all done originally to build up the Roman Reigns-Rock match. I remember they were going to do the Dallas show, WrestleMania 38, and then it was going to be Los Angeles, WrestleMania 39. He turned down the first one to do the second one, which would have been Los Angeles. Then Los Angeles ended up being canceled kind of in December, I think, stated Dave Meltzer. It will be interesting to see how things pan out between 2 of the greatest superstars in WWE. A WrestleMania match might be in the cards, as previously teased by The Rock. The contest between Reigns and Dwayne Johnson has arguably been the most anticipated dream match in recent times. The two were rumored to lock horns at WrestleMania 39. However, that did not happen, and the head of the table defended his title against Cody Rhodes instead. The People's Champ discussed the backstage details regarding the potential bout during his appearance on the Pat McAfee show. The former WWE champion stated that the match could not take place despite the initial plans. The former world champion further revealed that the Endeavor merger was also one of the reasons behind the dropping of the plans. He stated that he is open to the possibility of taking on the Tribal Chief at the show of shows. There's a WrestleMania in Philadelphia. I'm saying that's a potential too. I'm open. But again, let's figure out what that is, because the fans deserve something just incredible and unprecedented. Not only that, but I also want to deliver to the locker room, and the boys and the girls back there who are working their off, he said. Do you wish to see The Rock take on Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 40? Bloodline members betray Roman Reigns for The Rock. Roman Reigns needs to return to the squared circle as soon as possible to keep his throne. As if it weren't enough to have outsiders targeting him, now the Tribal Chief has to deal with the man who might have a bigger claim to be the head of the table, The Rock. The most electrifying man returned on Raw, Day 1, and confronted Jinder Mahal. However, it didn't end there. The Rock stayed back to address the WWE Universe, hinting that he has Roman Reigns' Tribal Chief seat in his mind. Even though the Tribal Chief has Jimmy Uso and Solo Sikoa by his side, The Rock's words can easily get into his head. As the frustrations build, if Reigns lashes out at Jimmy and Solo, he will alienate himself further and push the remaining Bloodline members to align with the People's Champ. It seems that Reigns is slowly moving from being the predator to becoming the prey. The fans didn't see the undisputed WWE Universal Champion as much as the other title holders last year. Reigns only had 11 matches in 2023, 2 of which were tag team matches. However, despite his absence, the Tribal Chief kept up his popularity. Whenever Roman Reigns was scheduled for an event, it was an incredibly hyped segment. Bill Apter explained why Reigns continued to maintain the top-tier status regardless of his limited appearances. Well, they talk about him all the time on both shows. So he is there in terms of mentality of the product. He is still there. So when he comes back, it's a special attraction. They always had a face of the company, but I think now in the past few years that rather than depending upon that guy, that person like a Hulk Hogan or Randy Savage or Bret Hart to be the face of the company, they want this to be an all-encompassing company that everybody is out there, so to say. Recently, Randy Orton has vowed to take away everything from Roman Reigns and the Bloodline. This week's New Year's Revolution edition of SmackDown will determine who will challenge the Tribal Chief next among the Viper, LA Knight, and Kevin Owens.
I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I got eyes in the back of my head, I'm seeing. Take me for granted.